Hello, welcome to a quick demonstration on 4 methods that can actually be used to create a pivot table. Right, so the first one is going to be more manual method to creating a pivot table, probably very familiar to many. And then the next one is going to be using the quick analysis tool, probably not as familiar to many, but it's very, very easy to use. And again, I'm going to demonstrate that. Then number 3 will be how to use recommended tables. This one is a little more common, but is not usually used by many people. Right, but again, it's another walkthrough. And then finally, we'll also look at another method using the analyze data function. Right, so those are the 4 methods. Now, before further delay, the first one is the much more manual one. And again, we always go to the insert. Right, so we go to the insert tab on our ribbon up there, and under this method you'll see the option pivot tables. So if you click on it, now here you will notice that my pointer is actually in the wrong place, right? So it's always important to make sure that you insert your pointer somewhere inside the data set itself. Okay, so then if you go ahead and click on pivot table, then it's going to correctly select the data range. Then once you've done that, we can say we want it on a new worksheet. That's all right. So we go ahead and say okay. So once we are here, all we have to do is then to see how we want to create or to summarize our data. So in this case, I'm just in no specific order. I'm just going to select all the fields. Right, while I'm doing that, you can see it's actually creating the pivot table for me on the right, or rather on the left side here. And then of course I can think of how I want to reorganize this data. Maybe let me see here, maybe I want channel to be part of the columns, and maybe I want the customer state to be the filter. Right, so then I can have my data organized this way, so which means I can actually filter the data using the state. I can select, is it New York, is it Vermont that I want? In this particular case, I want all of them, right? So I can actually select anything that I actually want. So again, that's the first method. Okay, so then let me undo this so that I can switch over to the next method. Okay, well, I can delete this worksheet for now. So method number 2 is create a pivot table using a quick analysis tool. Now, as I've mentioned before, this one may not be as familiar to many people. All you have to do is just select the data set. And when you do that, you'll see there's an icon that will show up here. That's the quick analysis. Right, so again, another shortcut would have been Control Q. Control Q could also have activated that as well. But in this case, I'll click on it. And when I do here, it opens up a dialog box that will show me a number of options. And we know we want a table to create a pivot table. So I click on that. And once I've done that, you see that it also provides some recommendations. So the first one is a very basic pivot table. The next one has a little more information, the third one, and so forth. So to some extent, it has the recommended pivot tables embedded within it. So anyway, let me take the most basic one. And the whole objective is to create the same type of pivot table like I've actually created using the first method. So here we can say we want the channel to be under columns, and we want our filter to be the stage, and we want the sales month to be the row, right? So everything else looks exactly the same, right? So again, using the quick analysis method, we are still able to come back to the same pivot table that we wanted. Okay, so once again, I do not want to keep this, so I can delete this page here so that I can move on to step number 3. or rather method number 3, create a pivot table using recommended tables. Now this one here, all I have to do is make sure that I'm inside the data set, and then again I go to insert, and here is the recommended tables. So once again, it gives me a variety of options that I can actually use. Well, I can select the very first one so that I can further just customize it. Sales month is going to be, I want this to be in the rows, and I want channel to be there, and I want the filter to be the state, and then that will, before you know it, we've actually created the same table, right? Okay, so I can delete this again so that we can move on to the fourth method. Now the fourth method is called create a pivot table using analyze data function. Right, now you'll notice, depending on the version of the Office application you have, you'll see there should be an option called analyze data. So it may not appear on in every version of Microsoft Office application, but if it does exist, it's another tool that you can actually use. Just click on it, and before you know it, it's actually suggesting to you, do you want to insert a table? Right? Okay, and then of course we can actually look around to see the other options to do with pivot charts. So I can click on this first one here, right? Double click on it, and then again, I can customize it any way I want, right? So it actually comes up with some recommended pivot table. Then from there you'll be able to, for example, if you click on it, you'll be able to once again just customize it so that it comes to exactly the same format as the other one that we had, and we want. Okay, so I think this one is all right, and is the channel that I want to be here, and before you know it, we have created exactly the same. All right, so there you have it. We've just gone through 4 different methods of creating a pivot table in Excel. I hope you found this very, very helpful and insightful. Right, so once again, like the video, share the video, and be sure to subscribe. And of course, provide some feedback, comments, so that I can hear what you have to think about some of these tips that can really go a long way in making you more productive using Excel. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.